Hey there, good evening everyone. So glad to have you back for another live stream here on my channel. Excited for a different sort of paint party this evening, different from what I've done before. We're going to try something different and unique, so excited to see if it works and see how it goes, how it ends up. So welcome, those of you coming into the live stream this evening. Feel free to chat in the comments. You know how this works if you've been here before. You are more than welcome to join the conversation in the comments wherever you are watching the live stream. I hope you had a great week and that it went well. Hey there, Daniel. So glad to have you. Thanks so much for popping in this evening. I also see Lola. So good to see you as well. Bear with me as I adjust my easel. I'm actually going to tip it back and I'll explain what we're going to try to do this evening. We will see how it works. So let me see. Here, okay. Trying to make a flat workstation or a flatter workstation than upright easel. A couple months ago when I moved into my new place after the robbery happened, I decided to only replace and fill my house with the things that I actually needed or would use. And so some of the kind of everyday things that we all have, I don't have until I come across the need for them and then I replace them. And one of those things is coasters to put a mug or a cup on. So I had a couple of sets that were stolen in the robbery. And so I got to thinking, well, instead of just going out and buying some random coasters off of Amazon, let me see if I could create something. So I bought these ceramic coasters that are just plain coasters. I have treated them tonight with basically a light kind of bluish gray glaze. But tonight I'm going to see if we can paint something on these coasters. And then I will, of course, coat them with something to seal them. But I thought, let's try this out, see how it works. Then I had to think, well, what should I paint on these coasters? And so I looked through all my reference photos in the group that I'm on Facebook. And I thought, you know what? There's a lot of really cool looking lighthouses. So we're going to try some lighthouses this evening to see if we can make this work. And I don't know because I have not painted anything this small before. I don't know how it's going to work out. I have some small paints or some small brushes, but I don't know if I have actually small enough brushes, but we're just going to see how it works and we'll definitely learn something along the way. So let me see. As I'm adjusting this workstation, I'm going to need to kind of turn this around. So let's see. Okay, the first, let me put, I think it is number 4. Yes, this is the lighthouse that we're going to start with here. And I'm actually going to take this camera and see if I can get this set up. Let's see. For the palette. In the meantime, let me adjust there. Let me add that. Okay, we have palette and hey there, Fox. So good to see you. Yeah, I took some months off. I was moving cross country and then I had everything stolen on the way. And so, yeah, it's been a crazy couple of months, but I am back at the stream, back streaming again. I am doing all right. Yes, sir. Okay. Now what we need to do is actually move this over. Sounds great. Feel free to lurk away, pop in, pop out whenever you would like. Okay, let me see. All right, let me see if I can turn this camera to where... Okay, so the camera will be... Then it will allow me to paint up here. Okay, let's see. We'll get this, y'all. All right, that's pretty centered for you. Okay, I think we have things set. So let's actually, let me move this up. I wonder if I can set it. There we go. I can set this up here, and then let me see if I can put that a little closer. Okay. I think now I need to adjust the other camera. Yeah, that is how it looks to me as well. So we'll see if that works. That way things are not too far out of reach, but they are... I'm dropping my paintbrushes. That's the word I'm thinking of. Okay. Now, let's attempt this painting. Okay, I have a little red. This is, of course, a red. I think it is, somebody said, in Michigan. I think Holland, Michigan. And I think it's called Big Red, which makes sense. So, welcome again to those of you that are joining a little late. We're trying something new. I am going to see if I can paint this a kind of tiny painting on this coaster here. So what I want to do, like we always do, is kind of just block in. So I'm going to take a little white and little tiny bit of brown. Just kind of block in some of these big shapes on the space, on this space. So let's see. We'll just kind of do the rocks across the bottom of this. Good thing about this is that it dries really quick because it's ceramic and it absorbs the paint really fast. All right, now we'll see. What we want to do is kind of, I don't really know what I'm doing, so I'm kind of just figuring this out as I go. And these, I may end up, if it doesn't work, I may end up just blocking over it. Or painting over it. Just doing main kind of shapes. Then we'll have to come in with a detail brush and kind of improve it. Oops, I guess I should do that. Maybe that helps. Because I just noticed you guys are seeing a real All right, I'm using a pretty large, probably 1/4 inch flat brush, so it's almost impossible to get any sort of definition there. So I pretty quickly want to go to a much smaller brush. This is about I don't know, but compared to maybe 1/8 inch flat brush. Now what I want to start doing is put in some of this darker color. This flat brush is not as pliant, it's a little more rigid, so I'll have to, okay, let's see if we can kind of draw some of this. At least just get some rough lines in there. Thanks. Good to see you, Bob. It is very much looks like a children's kindergarten drawing, doesn't it? we'll see if we can make something a little less elementary, but maybe not. I may have chosen a subject that's just too complex for the types of brushes I have, as well as the subject matter and the space. But I think it's a good exercise to force my brain to kind of think in a little bit larger a little bit smaller dimensions. So we'll see if we can salvage anything out of this. It's kind of a mess, but this is my first, just kind of let me see what I can do. So let me see what I can do. Now I'm taking a very small, fairly small detail brush to see if that will make a difference, if I can improve outcomes with that. So I want to go back down to the where I put in the block in for the stones, and hey Marta, good idea. Yes, you will probably have better success than I will. All of these I may actually come back and do larger full life attempts because I just love this subject matter. But you don't know something until you try it. So, right? That's why you try it and see what works and what doesn't. Make adjustments. When I first started, I was doing a lot of smaller paintings, not this small, but they were, if you remember, a lot of like 4x6, 5x7s. And part of the problem, I was not able to get the detail that I needed because I was working with canvases that were too small and brushes that were too large. But it taught me a lot about some of the fundamentals, which really then helped me to make changes as I went. We'll see if we can create some sort of not sure, but really forces you to look at the big kind of spots of light and dark and kind of translate that into a smaller space. What I'm doing here at the base is basically just creating some spots that are lighter and darker. I'm not doing at all any sort of detail, but I'm just trying to create the illusion of some darker spaces. And some lighter spaces. And over time, that will give us, by doing a variety of those, then all of a sudden you start to see pseudo rock formations come out. Something that looks semi-three-dimensional. See what I mean, y'all? Okay, now let's come over on this side and see if we can put in some spots. All right, we just gave the idea of that. So we know that's semi-successful. So let's look at the plants. Oh, I have some green on my... Thanks, Lola. Y'all will notice that when comments pop up, I reach across the whole area to pull them up because my computer's actually over there in front of me, but it's a little more than an arm's reach away. So it's, yeah. I can see all the things, but really I should have the computer right next to me. But I was trying to figure out a way I could arrange this to lay this flat. I could have done I could have kept my easel upright, but I think it would have been more challenging because I would have had to hold this a little bit, and now I can lay it flat and have work all the way around the piece. So, all right, so let's add some, start to add the illusion of greenery out there. I'm just doing a pretty dark undertone so that it is so that I can come essentially and put highlights on top of it. That's the intention. Then if we add a little more blue, dark blue, fade it out, then we can go back here and put the illusion of distant trees and such in the background. Let's do a little bit more, a little bit brighter. Let's see. There. Gives us some all right. Now we have kind of the rough layout in, all the pieces in place. Now I really want to come back, see if we can clean up this building. All right. Well, we want to take some of the dark red and even a little blue probably to create almost a brownish purple. That way we can get some okay, that's probably a little too dark. Hey, Miss Jasmine, thank you. It's calm for me as long as things keep going the way I want them to do. If they start to go out of control on their own, then I kind of have a little meltdown. Not always on camera, but in my head, kind of start losing my mind. So, but I am glad that it is calm and relaxing for you all. Yeah, I think there is something about working in like these smaller spaces that is definitely, well, it's definitely more of a challenge. It's harder to hide the mess, but it is but it really forces me to be a little more, just a little more detailed, I guess. A little more precise. That's the word I'm looking for. Forces me to be precise, which is a challenge. Whoops. All right. Well, I like where that's going, y'all. Isn't that kind of cool? Like, just adding a little shadow all of a sudden starts to give us something. So let me see if I can do something similar here. Let's see. See if we can redeem this little thing. It's hard because I do have another, I was looking at all of my brushes, and I think all of them are pretty long detail brushes, yeah. Number 2, number 1, where's a 0? That's what I need. That's the 0, but it's so long that I don't think it will work. But I do have a very tiny brush that we can try also that is like almost like a pen, at the top of a pen cap. So we will definitely see if we can, we may have to bring out that, but I'm trying all of these things just to see what works and what doesn't, so that I can, all right. It's still very sloppy, but we're starting to see form. So let's see if we can clean up some of the mess. Taking the bright red and just a tad of white, just to give it a little less translucence. It's funny because I thought when I started, I was like, man, this live stream may be a really short one, just because I was working in, smaller space. And so I thought, well, maybe I'll end up just not, I'll be wrapped up in like 20 minutes. But as you can tell, that's not happening. So let's see if we can come in here, add a little structure. Ooh. That's the hard part. I like where this is going, so let's keep going there. See if we can get another coat on here. All right, we need to just notice something that's a small detail but may make a difference. Right along this ridge is a light reflective area. there's a guy on YouTube I follow who's a pretty excellent detail worker. He does landscapes. His name is Michael James Smith, and he does art tutorials and such, but he is a pretty phenomenal detail artist. I'm really always impressed with what he can create. What I already know is I'm not going to be able to get the detail of the windows and the arches and everything. So you have to kind of choose what your focus is going to be. All right. We have shadow. We have some. All right. So I'm going to come back over here in this kind of reddish color. See if I can remake it. Our shadow color, and I want to come up here on the, see if I can get a little more specific. With my, I think I'm going to have to take it up here actually. Because I think this needs to be a little higher. Needs to stick up significantly above the ridge of the roof. So let's take it all the way up. May need to go even higher. Hi there, Kelly. So good to see you. Thank you for popping in. I almost came down to your neck of the woods this weekend. I was looking for a car and I was searching in Denver, but think I found one elsewhere. However, once I have my transportation in hand, or once it's here, I do want to come down to, I love to visit Denver at least once a year. So I can't wait to be able to come hang out in Rocky Mountain land. All right, I think we're getting the rough shape in there. It's at least semi-recognizable, which is shocking to me, honestly, y'all. I am shocked that it's even halfway recognizable, just because, like, it's just, I don't know. Like, I just didn't think I could do it. So that's a good, actually, this needs to, I think the building is too long, but I don't want to make any dramatic adjustments until I really, because the roof is, let's do this. Let's go back to the roof. Let's take a little of this raw umber and the ultramarine blue, which will give us a very dark, almost black color. And let's go put some shadow on our roof. Okay, I like the shape of this side best. So we'll come over here first. Put shadow on our roof. Now I'm gonna try my little tiny brush and see what difference that makes. Maybe much harder to control, we'll see, or it may be easier. Ooh, yeah, puts on a lot of, it's much more kind of able to draw. Okay, well, now let's go. some precision lines. I know how you feel every time I paint anything and it looks right. I'm shocked. Oh, isn't that funny? Oh, that's good. I'm glad it's not just me. Oh my goodness. I am glad it's not just me. But it's also super fulfilling, isn't it, Lola, when you do something and you're like, oh, that worked the way I wanted it to. And then it's like, oh, now I know what to do next time I have this particular situation or thing to draw or paint. It's definitely, I think I'm messing this up, y'all. Not sure. Well, we'll put some paint down and then we'll make adjustments. Yeah, this is a mess, but should be able to come in and clean it up with some other should be able to come clean it up with some additional line work. Just mixing a little more of this black or this dark color. Okay. There is a, I think I'm going to leave that spire till almost last. That'll be almost the very last thing I put in. That way, if I have to adjust the sky, I am not I'm not having to paint over the spire and then repaint it. So oops, that's not good. Okay. Hello, Yogesh. Thank you. All right, y'all. We've spent probably a good 40, 45 minutes here. And I'm not unpleased with what we have so far. Not super pleased with it, but I'm not unpleased. Let me take this, try to see if I can kind of improve these. Even this tiny brush is not precise enough for what I want, but that's okay. We'll keep working on it. We will keep working on it. Kind of a mess. Kind of a mess. Now, okay. I need to let that go for a minute. Red. Yeah, trying to erase that window up there so I can kind of do the detail work again. I'm just going to have to wait, and then same over here. Okay, wonder. Whoa, that's way too much. All right. Little by little, we are getting there. All right, let me start refining this a little bit. So I'm gonna blue, white. One of the good things about doing this smaller style painting is I can mix colors so much easier. Notice I haven't switched plates at all yet. Because I'm painting such smaller areas, I'm using a lot less paint. I think this is too gray, but we'll see. Yeah, it's too dark. So we need a lot more white. Lighten it up. Trying to match the background. That's pretty good. Oops. Then you do something like that. Put a mark through the whole painting. Oh well. Let me move that. There we are. So I'm just kind of trying to correct some of these things that instead of trying to make this perfect, I'm coming in with more precise lines on the background and see if I can improve that. Oops. Come in a little too far. See if I like that better. Yeah, I think so. Okay. We'll come in and put some more trees there, but I think it corrects a little bit more of that. These now look a little more well aligned. But while we're doing that, though, I want to come in and, if I can, improve this. Okay, I'm going to turn it sideways just so I have more control over the line I'm drawing, y'all. Is that better? I think it's a little better. I think actually... Oh, you know what I wish I had done? I wish that I had taken progress photos. Wouldn't that have been impressive? Because you all saw how this hot mess started. So you know the rest of the story, as they say. All right, I think I'm actually, there's something in my head that just says this perspective-wise. I don't want to mess it up though. And I think I just did. Darn. Shoot. I think I painted too much. That's the deal. There is such thing as overcorrecting. Okay, not gonna touch it again. We are just going to let that be. Okay, this is starting to get to a place where content queen, you are brilliant. Yes, you are absolutely right. See, I don't have to be the smartest person on my live stream. I just have to have the smartest people on the live stream. Yep. Okay. I like where we're getting. We're almost to a place where I would be like, okay, I would put that on my coffee table and rest a mug on that. Okay. Let me see. What I need to do is then put on the back side, well, there's actually a cork bottom that holds, that keeps the coaster from sliding. But I need to put a label on the back side that says where these lighthouses are. Now I'm doing something, I don't know if it's going to be smart or not, but to add some visual interest, what I'm trying to do is mix this background color of these trees just a little bit darker so that I can put a few spots of shadow, but that won't bring it too far forward. Not sure if that's going to work, but it might. We'll see. I think I want to do some more this kind of work. Creating some dark, because I want to come in here and kind of put this in shadow. Just a few highlighted areas. Now this is really starting to work, huh? Let me take a little yellow ochre, just create a little variance in the rocks. Little burnt sienna. By creating different tones, you get kind of a feeling of 3D, 3 dimensions. Let's see what we have. There y'all can see a little bit what I'm trying to do with these rocks. It's not going to be super precise, but rocks are fun because eventually all of a sudden they emerge. All right, now we want to take a little green and let's take some burnt umber. Some yellow ochre, more green, a little blue. Just create a weird green color that's kind of dark, kind of not. Okay. Put a little more detail in this, the foliage around the base of this. Then we want to take a little yellow, mix it into the green, maybe a little white. give a little highlight to those bushes. Then, oops, then do the exact same with some lowlights. Oops, not dark enough. Emphasize some of the shadows there. May not be dark enough, or it may just look all one-dimensional. Oh, not too bad. We can keep refining. Back in here, though, I want quite a few dark. The dark brush around the side. There we go. Little by little. We'll bring this back up into the foliage back up against the edge of that. May have to blend that back into the background again, but I like the way the darker there makes the red, the front side of that really pop out. Okay, the biggest thing, one of the biggest things that I think is not correct that we'll have to keep working on is there needs to be more shadow there under the eave so that it looks like the building is rotating away from us, because right now this side looks very flat. It's looking right at us. So that's a challenge. Let's see if we can address a little bit of that. Just mixing a red with a little brown and maybe a little blue. See if I can get a dark red. Okay. Not sure if that's going to work, but we'll try it. That's what it's about, isn't it, Marta? It's just getting the hands dirty, for sure. And the enjoyment of just doing it, right? It's not about whether it looks the exercise of doing it for me ends up being the benefit. Well, we might get a little bit of the nope. I'll have to keep working on these eaves, but I can do, I think under these. I think my paint is too watery right now. Hmm. 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 Now I'm going to try something really risky. There's a little... Ooh, don't want to touch it. Don't want to touch it. Just... Yeah. Let's just not go there. But this little tiny brush is doing a great job. So... All right, well, I am really pretty pleased with this so far. This is a mess. I still want to fix some of that, just because if I can get the windows just arranged better, lined up better. It's because I went in at the beginning and just put those 4 dots on there where I should have been much more intentional. But yeah, I think that's the deal. I probably want to do a little more work up there, although I might put the flag, but I don't know if it would be distracting, because I want the painting, the emphasis to be right here, and I want the architecture of the building to be the focus. So I don't want to get too detailed out on the edges to where it takes off. I'm going to come in later and probably put that, well, maybe I do that. Maybe that's the last thing we do. I'm most nervous about that because it's a single line, and basically, and if my hand is not steady, can really mess up the whole thing. But why put off to tomorrow what you can do today, right? Okay, let's see if we can do this now. Again, I'm going to turn this upside down so I can draw a little more accurately. Actually, I think I need to thin down the paint just a tad. I don't want to go too watery, but I do want it to, I want it to slide. So Eek, y'all, it's working. Don't want to overpaint. Ooh. Oh, I just did, didn't I? Well, maybe not. All right. There's a little mess there, but I think that can be easily remedied by taking a little white. Ugh. I didn't realize I had so much water in the brush. Little white, little blue, little brown, and a lot more blue, and a lot more white. I think we can do the can actually then put some of this in here. Just rub it in as a cloud, kind of cloud or illusion suggestion of clouds. All right, I am not unhappy with that. Let me put my glasses back on so I can see it at a distance. Yep, I am not unhappy with that result. Now, take a little bit here, because, you know, why risk overpainting when you can? Those are the details. Yeah, I kind of like that, y'all. I know I said that before. All right, I'm going to take, I think, these. Can't remember which ones I used or if I used both. And I'm going to take, this, all those get cleaned. That was fun, wasn't it? I will continue refining this, but I think that's where I'm going to stop tonight. It's a pretty little, I will not be upset to have that on my table. And now that I've done it, it helps me, it gives me more confidence that I can do. I have about 6 or 7 other lighthouses that I would like to attempt. So that gives me more confidence I can do that. All right, let me do this and then adjust. Here. Okay. Whoa. Ha, I forgot that. There we go. Now I'm right side up again. Okay, now, and let me get rid of that light, and so it's not right in your eyes. Get that. Okay. So I'm going to put my nifty little, but that worked pretty well to turn the easel down. You guys can kind of see what I'm doing. The easel lay flat. All I have to do is loosen these knobs again, and it should stand back up. And I usually have it kind of partially slanted so it sits back a little bit. Then we'll roll this bad boy back against the wall a little bit. Need to, my drop cloth is sliding forward every time I move that easel. So, okay, well that worked well with that camera there. So we may do some paintings like that again. We shall see. But for now, I'm going to put it back in its spot because this is normally my palette cam. This arm is not at all. Okay, so good deal. All right. Thank you so much for all of you that joined me. I appreciate you joining me joining us. It's a good little gang we have for this. You can see again, kind of at a distance, what the coaster will look like. So not bad. I'm pretty happy with it. I'll keep working on that. And then I will put a sealer over. I need to figure what's going to be the best seal. May be able to just Mod Podge it or something. I think that's what it's called. But coat it so that I can put cold and hot drinks on that, and if there's condensation, it won't mess up the painting. So, all right, well, thank you so much for this evening. I hope that you have a great week. And yeah, if you don't follow, please do on Instagram. You can see typically the progress photos of any paintings I'm doing. Oh, let me show you what I did. This was the one from last week, if you remember. I didn't do a whole lot. I mean, I did a whole lot of work in the sky, but the main thing that made the difference was the highlights on these trees. You really get a sense of the foreground, middle ground, background. So I'm really pleased with how this one is turning out. I'm probably going to do a little more work on the clouds, but maybe not. But it's really beautiful, especially at a distance. It really reads the way I wanted it to. So that was fun. That was last week. And so we'll keep working on the lighthouses. Maybe I'll have a couple more to show you next week. But until then, I hope you have a great week. Please like, subscribe, thumbs up, all that stuff. And I will see you next week. Have a great one. Thanks, Fox. Thanks for hanging out, popping in and out. It was so good to see you. And we will see you all next week, Monday, 6 p.m. Mountain Time.